Hey everybody, this is Leah, and I am glad that you are here. And this is our Mindset Makeover for 2023. And so today, what I wanted to do is do a recorded video to kind of help set the stage for what this week is going to be. It's going to be 5 days where I'm sending you out a brief email to give you some information and a tiny step. And then you're going to take it and put it into practice. And so it's going to be once a day. I'm going to send out the email by 9 a.m. every day, and then you'll have a little action step. And then we have our private Facebook group as well that you can post in and post any comments. There's some people who are part of the challenge who are not in Facebook, and that's okay as well. But I wanted to record this so I can include it in your email for day one, especially for those who are not part of our Facebook group. So, but I am very glad that you are here. And this recording, it's only going to be about 20 minutes, and you can watch a few minutes and pause it and watch some more, like when you're fixing breakfast or getting dressed or at lunch or whatever. So I hope it'll help you setting the stage for what this week is going to be. So today is officially our day one, and we're going to talk about your mindset and how important it is to your health and what to do if we need a mindset reset, right? And if we have any health issues going on, like I know many of you do, if you have autoimmune conditions, some GI conditions like IBS or colitis, if you have other symptoms, like brain fog, fatigue, even weight issues, you don't have a diagnosis, but that's okay. Science is now showing that how we think, how we believe about our health and our illness, if we think we can get better, our mindset is key to our healing journey, right? So, as many of you know, I am a national board certified health and wellness coach. I'm also a speech language pathologist. I'm a wife and I'm a mom. I have two children who are living. I lost three via miscarriages, probably due to some autoimmune conditions that were not diagnosed back then. Also have had GI issues and food sensitivities. I've had chronic pain over the years, and I've had emotional and mental ups and downs with depression and anxiety. And I'll explain a little bit more of that as we go into this week. But I'm telling you all that because I don't want you to think that here I am living a life and I don't understand what you're going through. I do. I've walked the same journey that many of you have, and I'm affected just like you are. And I still have to work at it, right? I have some health flares that happen. I'm just a real ordinary person like you, but I want you to know that I really believe in this and mindset. So, what exactly is mindset? And maybe it's because of my background, coming from a background in education. Both my parents were teachers. I was a homeschooler, also my speech therapist background and all, but I always like to begin understanding what the definition is of a word that we're going to be focusing on. So, mindset is really your mental attitude. It's kind of a set of your belief system, your attitudes, right? It's your mood, your disposition. It's kind of your inclination towards life, how you face it, how you face challenges, how you face the highs and lows in life that we all have, how you relate to others, yourself, your job, inconveniences, any of life's circumstances. And we often hear people talking about a negative or a positive mindset, but I want to tell you about a couple of other ones. Have you ever heard of a fixed mindset and a growth mindset? Well, if you have a fixed mindset, that is when you believe that your qualities, your talents, your interests, your temperaments are almost carved in stone, okay? You were born this way, a certain way of thinking, and you cannot change it. That's how someone who has a fixed mindset believes, all right? And it may not be that you're consciously saying that, but that's kind of subconsciously how you're reacting to everything. And you kind of are boxed into a certain way of life and thinking. Now, I've had people like that in my life, both in personal relationships and professional, who had a fixed mindset. They were very difficult to be around. I felt like I was walking on eggshells. And you probably have had dealings with people like that as well. They felt like they were born this way, they were right on everything. And if you didn't like it, it was too bad. You had to do things their way or else, and their way was the right way, and this way it's going to be. So, on the other hand, though, growth mindset is a type of mindset that if you have a growth mindset, you're more open to learning, right? You will stretch yourself in learning new tasks or skills or different ways to think and approach life and circumstances. You persevere when things get tough. You might think, I don't know how to do this right now, but I can learn. If I don't have the answers, I can figure it out, or I can get somebody to help me, right? Um, you're more open to change, you're more open to thriving, not just surviving. And if you have failures, which we all do, you don't become discouraged forever, right? You get up, you keep on going, you might adapt, you might learn a new way, but you do things like one step at a time. And that's why it's a growth mindset, because you're willing to learn, right? Now, remember, mindsets are just beliefs. They're powerful, but they're simply something that is going on in your mind. So the good news is you can change your mind, okay? And that's what we're going to be talking about this week. Now, you might be saying, Leah, I don't think I have a growth mindset right now. Well, that's okay, right? Don't go anywhere. That's what this week is about. I'm going to show you some simple steps this week to help you shift that mindset. So look at yourself for a minute and all that you've been through, right? When something happens, are you the type of person who says, oh no, why is the world out to get me? Why is God punishing me? It's not my fault. It's what the other person did. It's almost a victim mentality, right? That's what somebody who has a fixed mindset might say. Now, let me be clear. I am not talking about people who have really been abused. They are a victim. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. All right. I know that the way that we manage our mind and our thoughts in circumstances is going to affect our health, our physical, our mental, our emotional, and spiritual. This has happened to me in the past where I have let my circumstances just really get me down, and my thought patterns were faulty, and that doesn't help at all, right? Remember, you can't always control what happens to you, but you can control your reaction to them. And the way that we talk, I'm not talking about to other people right now, although that is important, but I'm talking about to yourselves, right? The way we talk to ourselves is key. You might have heard it called self-talk, mental chatter. It's the constant thoughts that are going on in our brains all the time, right? And there are actually studies about the number of thoughts that we have each day and how they affect us. Now, I've read and reread several good books, and I'm going to refer to them throughout this week. But one of them is by Jenny Allen called Get Out of Your Head. Another one is by Dr. Caroline Leaf, and it is called Switch on Your Brain. And then a third one is by Tommy Newberry called The 4-8 Principle. In Jenny Allen's book, she mentions a study that says about 70% of our thoughts that we think daily are negative. And now there's different statistics on how many thoughts we think a day, depending on your age, your gender, things like that. But there's anywhere from 6,000 to 30,000 thoughts per day that it's thought that we think, okay? But can you imagine if 70% of those are negative, then that's anywhere from 4,200 to about 20,000 negative thoughts every day. I don't know about you, but I would much rather have 70% be positive or more growth minded instead of negative or fixed mindset, right? Now, in these books, the authors, they all discuss the neurobiology of our brain. And they basically are talking about how when we are affected by any kind of thoughts that we have, then that actually does affect the chemistry, our body chemistry, the structure of our brain, our neurotransmitters. So it affects you, of course, emotionally and mentally, but it also affects you physically, right? And if we ruminate on negative thoughts, it affects our future thoughts, our words, and our behaviors. Here's one quote that I like from Dr. Caroline Leaf, and she says, "Thoughts are real physical things that occupy mental real estate. Moment by moment, every day, you are changing the structure of your brain through your thinking. Your thoughts can be the enemy, or you can make them your ally." And I like this Bible verse from Proverbs 18:21. It's from the Message version, and it says, "Words kill or words give life. They're poison or fruit. You choose." So you're either building up yourself or you're demolishing your body and mind. And I don't think you want to demolish your body and mind, right? So, and there's also an association between stress and disease. And you've probably heard about this, but researchers say about 85% of disease is affected by stress. Our health is affected by the integration of our body, our mind, and our soul. They're not separate, they're interrelated. So we want every aspect functioning as best as possible, right? Now, it's more than saying, I'm just going to put on a happy face and pretend that I'm all positive and happy, okay? And although I am a health and wellness coach and integrative nutrition coach, I'm not a doctor or counselor. So if you are having a lot of depression, anxiety, negative thoughts all the time, I'd strongly recommend you get some professional help, from a counselor or somebody else like that. If you don't know who to contact, reach out to me. I can send you some referrals. I'd be happy to point you in that way. That's nothing to be ashamed of. I have seen counselors several times in the past, and they really do help. So if you have a growth mindset, you can experience failure still, right? That can be painful. But with a growth mindset, the benefit is it's not going to define you and your value and your worth as a person, right? It's just simply a problem to be faced, and you're going to deal with it. You're going to learn from it, right? When a failure occurs, those who have a fixed mindset, they often will say, "See, I'm just not good at that. I might as well give up." Things come easily to other people who are really smart, pretty, skinny, young, fill in the blank. But I'm here to tell you that kind of thinking is faulty. It's not accurate, right? There are plenty of people out in our world who have experienced really difficult, terrible things, maybe even worse than what you have experienced, right? And they have been able to overcome and live with joy despite enduring them. And this week, I'm going to share some of their stories to you. And remember, the point of the growth mindset is not really the outcome, okay? That everything will always turn out the way you want. You can wave a magic wand and you're going to have sunshine and beauty. The point is really growth, how you're living up to your potential, who God created you to be, right? With a growth mindset, you're going to actually feel happier and more hopeful. And that is going to affect your physical health and your mental, emotional, and spiritual. And we're going to talk about how all of that affects your overall health this week, okay? So I hope you did see your email, and just remember, every day they're going to go out by 9 a.m. I'm going to provide some info every day and a daily small step, which can develop into habits long term. So look at those, have a growth mindset about them. Even though they may be simple, they really will help. And when I have previously led short challenges like this one, whether it's on mindset, or even maybe a 5-day sugar detox, or even like a drink more water challenge, I've had a lot of great responses from people who've said, "Wow, I really didn't think just taking that one simple step was going to help, but it really did." And it carried over to me implementing other steps, right? I've had people say, "Just because I'm adding water more to my day, I'm drinking less soda or less coffee. I'm not feeling so wound up, or I'm not having cravings for junk food as much with that one tip. Or, you know what, I'm going through a hard time, but I'm actually able to maintain some joy and feel less stress about it because I've put into practice that mindset tip that you gave. So that's the key, okay? Remember, tiny steps will develop into small habits, and habits develop into your lifestyle. So if you've ever in the past tried to do a major overhaul, you can maybe do it for a month or two, but after that, we lose steam, right? I've been there, I've tried and done it. Many of my clients have tried to do that, and maybe you have too. So that's why this week, during these 5 days, we're going to go slow to grow your new mindset, okay? And one participant in my last challenge noticed, she said, attitude really drives your day. It's the flavor of your thought. It's kind of like a small amount of almond or vanilla extract, or maybe a vanilla bean, how that gives flavor to a cake or ice cream, right? It's a really tiny amount, but you're going to taste it throughout the whole cake or ice cream. Well, I like that analogy because a small step that you consume, that you actually start putting into consistent practice, is really going to flavor your lifestyle. So let's make that a healthy one, like your mindset and thinking. Okay. All right. So now I'm just going to answer a few questions that I've received over the past few days and in the past when I've run this challenge before. So the first one is, I have lived this way my whole life. How can I change my mindset now? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about all this week, okay? I've talked a little bit about it today, but tiny steps are the key, right? You're not a bad person. You're not thinking wrong when you think a certain way. You might have just been trained to think that way. Maybe the home you grew up in did not have a growth mindset, right? Nobody ever teaches this in school. I wish they did, in high school and college, or even younger than that, but nobody did. I didn't learn this till I was much older. Maybe you've had a lot of circumstances that you didn't know how to handle. They were out of your control. But this week, we're going to look at some people who've had really tough times. We're going to see how they responded. And hopefully that will help you realize that you can change as well. All right. The next question is this going to be easy? My answer is, well, that wording is really based on your mindset, right? Easy means different things to different people. So if you're asking, is changing your mindset going to be where you go to sleep one night and you wake up the next day and you're more hopeful and your mindset is totally changed and nothing ever gets you down or discouraged? Then my answer is going to be no. But if you're asking me, can you implement some simple daily steps which can help you learn how to choose to change your mindset? Then the answer is going to be yes. Okay. So I am going to be posting into our private Facebook group this week. It's just the general Nurturing Your Life one. I hope you will post in there as well. We can all learn and encourage each other, right? That's the reason I like having a group of people doing it, and I love doing group programs. There are some who are not going to be in our Facebook group, and that's okay. But if you are, post to encourage others and me as well. And if you know somebody who you think would benefit from this, it's not too late for them to join. You can send them the link to join the challenge. It's going to be in your email from this morning at the very bottom. So that is all that I have for you right now. I hope that you're going to enjoy this mindset makeover this week. And please reach out to me if you need anything or have any questions, and I would love to help you out. Bye for now.